Hello and welcome back to my channel, loves. I am super excited to have you and to be back. My name is RaShannah. For anyone that is new to my page, I am a budgeting just wife and mom. My husband and I both work full-time. We have 8 wonderful children. And we are on a journey to home ownership and debt freedom, which is really what brought about this budgeting time and passion as well. Today's video is going to be focused on budgeting our first paycheck week of January. So I'm going to be budgeting our first paychecks for January. And this week, of course, my husband gets paid every week, so he'll be paid salary from his work. And then I am paid for my part-time job for this week. So I'll be budgeting the 2 of those. I do have a couple of transactions to track from today. It's January 1st. That I'll show you all, get a head start on what my balance was. At the beginning of the day, etc., right? etc. Okay, let's get started. I do not need this workbook right now. I'll put that one up. I do need, y'all know I like to pre-plan on papers, so I've got my notebook, my pre-budget, and then sticky notes just in case I need them for anything. And I went to Dollar Tree to get some stuff for my prayer board, which I will show you all that. But I got some colored little cheap pens too, you know, something I could get without going over my budget, because y'all know my kids have taken all of them. So I got some pens, and I also got some cheap highlighters. Okay, I was like, I'll have to work on my paper too. There we go. Okay. So I'll get a couple out. Again, for starters, I'm just going to use a notebook paper, okay? And again, if you're new to budgeting, okay, what you're going to do, and it's my previous video will show you, is you're going to fill in all your bills, okay? There is I believe there's a bill tracker worksheet in the Budget Mom workbook. Y'all give me a second, I gotta remember where I put it. There is, I believe there's a bill tracker that came in the Budget Mom workbook. If you remember from my last video, I did not print the whole thing because FedEx was like super taxing. So yeah, it looks like I didn't do that. But you want to have a bill tracker so that you know all of your bills that are coming out, okay? And then what I do is I take the information from that bill tracker and I build it into the calendar, okay? So these highlighted days here in green, these are paydays, okay? I also included any special days, and there's really only 2 that have expenses associated with them. I'm actually thinking there's one more on the 19th, But for now, there's only 2 for sure, which is my birthday and the first fruits expenses. Otherwise, I'm really working on a no spend for January. Okay. Which we will also complete. So to budget by paycheck, which is what I do, right? I don't budget this whole month. I budget specifically by paycheck. And let me explain that a little more. So I do budget the entire month. I take my expected income minus my expected expenses, and then whatever's left over, like I'll say bills, not expenses. So I take my income minus my bills, and I do what's left over so that I can evenly kind of divvy up what I have left over. The other thing that helps me do is give me around the number I need every week. Okay, so let's say after all of my expenses, I'm looking at $2,000 left over. Okay, after all of my bills, then I know, okay, it's 4 weeks, $2,000 for the month is left over. I should be able to have around $500 every week, okay, for my budget. That's easier for me. I can show you how I do that too. Maybe I'll do that for February's budget, because January is gonna scare you, so I don't want to do that. I will do that for February's budget. I will do like an entire month in review is basically what it is. So for the month, these are the things, again, all the bills that I have to pay. I take that away from all the income I'm going to receive that month. And then what's left over is for those variable expenses, the gas, the groceries, whatever. But again, I take that amount and I'm able to say, okay, this is what we're going to have per week, because you can see some of these weeks are really heavy and some of these weeks are really light. Okay. So like maybe this week I've got 1,500 left over, but I'm negative this month, right? So I have to move something over into this month to cover it. So if I know what that amount is going to be left over for the month, I can break that up into the number of weeks. So that's what I do. Okay. And you'll kind of see that here in a second. So again, I start my budget on Wednesday because my husband gets paid every week. And it's just easier for me to do that. So I go from Wednesday to Tuesday. All right. Wednesday to Tuesday, really kind of regardless of the dates. So this paycheck week is for January 1st through January 7th. And I can notate that here. All right. And then the income I'm expecting, and again, this doesn't have to be color coordinated, so I just want to make sure you guys can see. All right. So the income I'm expecting, number 1 is my husband's salary, and then number 2, the income from my other employer. It's inconsistent, even though I feel like I work the same hours, but whatever. I usually budget I was budgeting $800, but I got a raise, so now I budget $840. And it's usually around that or a little above, but I'd rather budget for that than to under or over, make my job too hard. So 840 is a happy medium. All right. And then I'm going to take 996.56 plus 840. That's going to give us $1,836.56. Okay. I am going to move a couple things. One thing I'm going to move, you guys are going to be like, what? But that's because We have until the 10th to pay this. So I'm going to pay it on the 10th, okay? Things Black people do, right? or maybe everybody, but if you give me later time to do it, I'm going to do it. All right, so that's our income. Now we're going to do all the bills that have to come out. So rent, car payment, this subscription, this other subscription, and I'm just taking over what I wrote here and adding it to this sheet. That's all I'm doing, guys. All right. So again, that is everything for this week. I'm just gonna do math now. My friend got me an Amazon gift card. Might use that to get one of those fun calculators. It's between that and a book. There's this book I really want to read too. All right. So this totals to $2,897.94. And if we take that away from our income, we're left in the red, right? $1,061.38. Help us, Lord. Okay. We need, when I did my overview for January, we're looking at about $2,000 left over. So I need to get to around $1,500, right? I need to come up with $1,500 that I can move around so that I can at least have $500 left over. Okay. So that's when we start doing some finagling. I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to highlight things that are like kind of credit impacting. Remember, that's our focus on our debt for 2025 is credit impacting debt, right? As we work to home ownership. And there are 2 things on here that are credit impacting so that we know that we can't move. The other thing I'm going to highlight are things that need to be canceled or changed, removed, etc. And there's only 1. Could we benefit from canceling these other things? Yes. Are we there yet? No. Okay. Keep us lifted. And then I am seeing 2 things on here that are already paid. So I'm going to check those 2 things off. This is covered already. That's covered already. Okay. And we're going to kill our relationship with Afterpay. All right. We're going to kill it. All right. Let me highlight things that I'm going to move that I can't move to a different day. So rent, AT&T, Spectrum. That's about it, eh? All right. Let's add those things back to our pot. I'm just going to use the same color that we used to highlight. So 1001. I can do these because these are already paid. $8.99, $6.36, $4.50.26, $223. I'm gonna use all the page. $10.99. All right, let's see what we get. All right, that brings us to $616.45. All right, take it as a win. All right, take it as a win. Now I am gonna highlight or note this on my calendar, right? The things that I moved and or need to pay. So these are 01, 01 through 01, 07, and these are adjustments. So rent, because we know we need to include these when we do the next week budget, right? Don't want to lose sight of them. And that one, we're canceling altogether. So nothing we could do there. Okay. Ooh, that's good sticky. Okay. Okay, supposed to know. I didn't think you was going to take the whole paper out. All right, I'll just stick it over here with our other notes. Okay. Okay. Now that I have that, close this for a second. Now that I have that, we're gonna break down this $616.45. And one thing that I'm focused on real hard and regardless is saving, okay? Like, even if it's little, all right? I want to start with $20 each pay period, right? I'll talk about my road to my emergency fund. I want a fully funded emergency fund by April, all right? So 90 days, I would like to get to $1,000, okay? That's like $11 a day, which is 77-ish, 80, roughly 80, right? Roughly $80 a week, okay? That we really need to save. It's looking really tight in January, but I'm gonna do my best, all right, wherever we can. So before I even break this down, I'm going to take out $20 for savings. I'm gonna start there, okay? I'm gonna start paying myself. And $20 is where we wanna start, all right? Gas, we are taking a trip for my birthday. We didn't use a lot of gas this week, so there is gas left, and but I want to account for that trip. So I'm going to add a little bit more money to my gas than I normally do to cover the trip. Normally it's about 90. I'm going to add an extra 30 bucks for 120. Okay. The room for our hotel, we got it for Thursday night and Friday night, and I got it at $50. So when I checked our reservation, I think it's gonna run us $111. I'm gonna budget $125. All right. I do have an appointment to get my nails done because I did not get them done last week, even though it looks like I did. These are press-ons. But if push comes to shove, honey, we will grab some more. Okay. My husband made an appointment for a wax center. I think last time it was like, I don't remember. I'm just going to put $50 there because I really do not remember. All right, let's see what we got left of this 616 before we move on. Already going through it, right? All right, 241. We still have an excessive amount of groceries in the fridge because even though I bought all those groceries, we did not actually make dinner. So, and when his mom is here, she makes a lot of like, praise the Lord, cheap and easy stuff. So I think that we can skate by on a $225 grocery budget. He already bought my dress and everything else is already paid for, and then he's using some other money that he has for dinner, so that's fine. So I don't have to budget for that. So that leaves $16, and I'll put that in our household or toiletries. And that's $16.45. Okay. This is an unusual one, okay, because it is my birthday weekend, and I'm hoping that some of these category reductions show up big and strong. And then my goal this year is to break this relationship with Afterpay. Like, as soon as these things are paid off, we're deleting the app, okay? Because it traps you. It traps you. Okay. Now I get to transfer this over. All right, so let me get that out. All right, I'm gonna get this filled out, guys. These are our estimations. These are our estimations. I do have a credit card that I am using specifically. Do you hear me? Specifically to increase our credit score. So because I budgeted this $225, I'm gonna use the $225 on the card and then pay this back to the card, right? As a way to build our credit score. Okay. And that's really the only difference. Well, I do it for the toiletries too. So the two of these together. So 225 plus 1636. So 241.36 is what will be put on the card. I'm just gonna make a little note of that. 241.36. All right, so then I transfer that specifically to the card. Okay. 616.36 is also what we're taking out in cash. Put the date over here, 01/01/2001. And we're going to transfer our categories over here. So savings, $20. Gas, $120. Hotel, $125. Nails, $60. Wax. Again, I don't know how much this is, y'all, so I really hope it's less than that. Grocery, $25. And toiletries is 16. All right. The savings I'll take out. Oh, let me put my denominations over here. 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. So take 120 out for that. The gas I get at Costco, you can't use cash. And the card that I use, I can't use there either, so I have to use my debit card for that, so I'm not going to take that out in cash. I also need a card for the hotel, so I'm not going to take that out in cash. I can take this out in cash, and I like to give my girl 20s. The wax is $50. I'll just do a whole 50. The grocery, again, I'm going to put it in the envelope, okay? And then once I actually make the transaction on the credit card, I will move it back to the account to pay it. So I can just take that in the easiest possible, which is 2, 1, and 1. And then toiletries is $16, and the only way to make 16 is 1, 1, 1. All right. So $1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2. The values are $1. I hate the way that came out. $1, $10, also $10, $100, $50, and $200. 1 plus 10 plus 10 plus 100 plus 50 plus 200. 371. And then just to make sure my math matches, I didn't take out 120 and I didn't take out 125. Perfect. That's 616. Yay. All right. Beautiful.